Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Prairie Podcast. Whether you're a student at the college, a parent of the student, prospective student, alumni, community member, someone in the broader community of Canada, or maybe the international community, this is an episode that you are welcome to listen to because we've got a very special guest with us today, Shaun Isaac. So, Shaun, why don't you introduce yourself to us a little bit? Tell us a bit about who you are. Give us the background. Who are you?
Who am I? Well, yeah, I'm Sean. I'm a there's the pause. I'm a happily married man with a son who lives here in Three Hills with his fairly newly married wife and a 6-month-old grandson.
Mm,
So that's pretty sweet.
that's
All live
pretty
in the same
exciting.
town. Oh, it's very cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Certainly. So, Sean, you know you've got your family here, and you're working with your son, correct?
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
And what kind of work are you doing? Because that might be why we have you on here today, just a little bit. So,
What kind of work?
yeah, would you mind sharing about the work you do, the company that you're looking after?
Well, I am a firewood supplier.
Okay.
I supply firewood to a lot of southern Alberta, from Medicine Hat to Lake Louise to Red Deer to the Saskatchewan border. We do a lot of stores, campgrounds, and a lot of winter firewood for people to heat their homes, particularly in rural Alberta, and lots of campgrounds and stuff like that too. So we're just getting ready to gear up for a busy summer, crazy summer season right now.
Certainly. So Woodchuckers, your company, you supply across this area. Would you kind of give us a download? What types of wood do you give? I don't know. I think that'd be something
What kind of
fascinating for
wood?
some people. Let's talk. Let's get the details.
The details, the fun stuff, hey?
Yep.
Well, we carry a few products. Pine is our basic, the big seller, I guess you could say. 90% probably of the sales. And then we get in some tamarack too. It's a hotter product, better for, it heats really well. It's good for
Okay.
barbecuing and stuff like that. And we bring in some birch from BC, which is very nice, expensive, but very nice. And
Very
and we
nice.
sell a bit of cedar from BC as well too, which
Okay.
smells really good.
Oh, I don't doubt that must smell quite nice.
The tamarack is wonderful to cut.
Okay.
It's such a sweet. If wood can smell sweet, it does.
That's the one.
Trying to figure out how to make some clone out of it. Actually, do we
Oh,
boil it down and get all the oils out of it or something?
interesting.
Maybe
Fascinating.
there's something to
So it
that.
seems like you have quite a bit of fun on the job.
We do. Yep.
Certainly. Okay, so I'm curious in your work and what you're doing here. You're delivering the firewood, you're chopping it up, all of that. What's your favorite part? What do you really enjoy about it?
You know what? My favorite. You know what? I've got a pretty. I look at my regular customers, and there's about 250 regular customers that I deliver firewood to every year.
Yeah.
And sometimes I only see them once a year. And it's kind of cool to, it's been 9 years now to see how, oh, their kids are bigger. Oh, they've got grandkids.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, you got your house renovated,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So you can kind of carry on a conversation over, a year at a time, a little bit here as I deliver. Sometimes it's hard to leave some of the customers because they're chatty and I tend to be chatty sometimes too.
And you'll the
But
sun will start to set
yep.
before you're gone. Oh, very fun.
But yeah, it's some neat people, all walks of life, that you get to meet. It's pretty neat.
Well, I don't doubt that. If you're driving around delivering to all these different types of people, different businesses or personal, and I I I bet there's a lot of different people that you get to meet and different stories you get to hear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Certainly. Okay, so Sean, we've talked a little bit about woodchuckers and some of the work that's going on there and what you enjoy. I want to turn our attention back to you in particular, personally.
Okay.
I'm curious, would you mind sharing for us a bit of your testimony, actually, a bit of your story? What's the journey been like getting up to this point?
Up to this point,
Yeah.
how far back?
However far back you want to go.
Okay. Well, I was raised in a Christian home. Um, Always involved in church from dedicated as a baby to right through to now. Very grateful for that, being raised in the Christian home that I was. Saved me from a lot of grief, though not everything. We still do tend to do dumb stuff uh, but yeah, no, I really value my upbringing. As I shared with you last night, my my dad is, I would say, one of my heroes of the faith, and he's not an outspoken man by any means. He's quiet, um, quite reserved, though he does ask strangers questions all the time, and I find as I get older, I start to do that now too. Oh,
Now that
that's
makes sense.
interesting, but he was known as Bible Bob in our town.
Yep.
I grew up in Grand Cache, coal mining town, lumber, and there's a jail there too. And he drove bus for the mine, and he would sit there in between picking up and dropping off guys, his little pocket testament, and he would sit there reading his Bible in between the guys' shifts and picking them up. And so he was harassed about that quite a bit and called Bible Bob. And I, was like, whatever. But to be known as some religious title, not religious, but you know what I mean? Like a
Yep.
character of, a godly person. That the older I get, the more meaningful that is to me.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, just the stuff that they saved us from. Sometimes you see some of your other cousins and relatives and friends, in a Christian home, but there's just differences. And I thank God for His grace, for the stuff that He spared us.
Mhm.
Their marriages are intact. There isn't, drugs or alcohol and all that kind of stuff to have led us astray. And we've been very thankful, though not perfect by any means.
Yep.
But yeah, no, just trying every day to stay faithful to God, and He's faithful to us.
Certainly.
Do you want to, and well, I guess you want to know how I got here.
Oh, maybe let's talk about that.
So I'm a bit of a implant, I guess. I went to Peace River Bible Institute. Can I
Hmm.
say that here?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
It's only one letter off in the acronym.
One letter off, right?
Yep.
Well, having grown up in Grand Cache, it was just a couple hours down the road north of Grand Prairie there. So went there, only finished a year and a half. Ran out of faith and money, I guess, or money and faith. I don't know. Um, but yeah, my wife ended up going to school there, but we were already dating before then. And shortly after that, we got married, went down to Edmonton. And um, prior to actually going to PRBI, I had looked into aviation. We had some missionary pilots that always came home on furlough
Hmm.
when I was a kid, and I loved hearing his stories. And so I actually, back in the early 90s, I actually looked at coming to Prairie here to go
Hmm.
into aviation. But it was 36 grand at the time, and I was like, where am I going to get 36 grand? So instead, in 2007, we after we got married, Faye and I, we moved to Edmonton and had Jacob, and that aviation started burning a hole in my brain again. So we came down here for a visit and moved here in 2007, where I paid 80 grand to do the aviation program instead of 36. So, but yeah, it's been good. But, the economy tanked and it never really went anywhere. So MAF didn't turn out, and that's okay. Maybe we just feel at peace that God just wanted us here.
Hmm.
And the opportunities that it gave Jacob um, to be to go to PCA, small town growing up. Um, his wonderful wife that he met here, and her family lives here. It's
Hmm.
yeah, it's pretty sweet. So, but yeah, I still Mike Fox and some of the pilots will sometimes tell me, "Oh, look up, we're doing aerobatics or something over my work yard, over my wood yard." So that's pretty cool.
Uh,
Watch them do their emergency procedures and stuff like that over top.
mm,
So that's pretty cool to see that.
that
I
is.
can say I miss it, but at the same time, I'm happy to be on the ground.
Hmm. Happy and enjoying what you're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Certainly.
Yeah,
Well, thanks for sharing that with us, Sean, and kind of just giving us a bit of context for who you are and kind of the background that you have
right.
there. And we appreciate that. I appreciate hearing that,
Cool.
as always. Okay, so I'm curious. You shared a little bit about some of your background here. even some of your faith journey and some of the ways you're understanding that now. We've also talked about woodchuckers. I'm curious, let's bring those two together.
Right.
How does your faith, how does your belief in God and following after Jesus in that daily discipleship impact the work
Mhm.
you're doing with woodchuckers?
Right. Many people say that work and faith have to be separate. And I was accused of that when I worked in Edmonton. You act different when you're at work than when you're at home.
Hmm.
And well, I'm not going to treat my wife like I treat a coworker, but I think they got to be all in one. And your faith has to be an umbrella over everything you do, your family, your work, your relationships with everybody. But when I first started the business or when I first bought the business, there was a lot of stress. Like, this is new. I'm not a businessman. I'm just a guy who cuts up firewood and then delivers it. And I might have said a few things a few times I shouldn't have,
Yeah.
stress and stuff breaks. But I've come to over the years to I have a couple things, maybe three if I remember the third, that I continually have to remind myself. And the first is, Lord, you've given me this business and it's yours.
Hmm.
If there's fire bans and we don't sell any wood, I will trust you that it's going to come from somewhere else if it's
Yeah.
not going to come from the business.
Yeah.
And um, if you're going to believe it or not, during COVID, that was my best year ever, which is really
Interesting.
ironic.
Yeah.
Like, because lots of people suffered, but nobody could go anywhere. So they all went camping and they all had fires and grandma and grandpas. So I was so busy during that year and we paid off a lot of debt.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that was pretty crazy. And so, yeah, Lord, this business is yours. It's in your hands. If this breaks down, you knew it was going to happen. So that relieves a lot of pressure in my brain. And the second, people aren't always easy to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm probably not easy for some people to deal with either. But I have this little thing that I had laminated, and it's, Lord, you've blessed me with this customer. Help me to be a blessing to them.
Hmm.
And that's kind of how I want to be seen in my life. Not that I can touch everybody and bless them, but those that I brought into my everyday life, that they can see a difference in me and that I can be a blessing to them. I'm not Wes Davison by any means, going knocking on doors and being an evangelist, but um, yeah, I try, Lord, how give me the words to say, because there's some customers that are not friendly to the gospel,
Yep.
and so, but yeah, just that God would give me the right words to say.
Hmm.
I've had some really good conversations with some people, so it's been
Certainly.
really neat.
Okay, very good. And you said you had a third thing if you remembered.
I don't remember
Don't
right now.
remember. Okay, well, I'm curious. Did it have anything to do with the conversation we had yesterday about compromise? If not, would you mind commenting on that? I think you had some great thoughts about that.
On
If
compromise.
if that
The
relates
whole
to the
thing?
work, not
No,
the whole
no.
thing, just in relation to the work.
Yeah, compromise. Oh, yeah, it's kind of crazy. And I was reading again in Chronicles this morning,
Yeah.
King Jehoshaphat and the life that he had. And I didn't get to the end of his life, and I don't remember, I'm sorry, how his life ends. But so many people in the Bible, they start out really well. Like Solomon, fire coming down from heaven after he anoints the temple, and David bringing in the ark, and all these guys making all these changes to help Judah and Israel and what have you draw closer to God. But yet in the end, they fail
Mm.
because all these little compromises they allow, whether it be the movies you watch, your after hours activity, or whether you drink or whatever you may do, the friends you hang around with, those little tiny little
Mm.
things that you do that you compromise on, and that then at the end of your life, you failed. And what is your testimony?
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so that's kind of, I want to be strong to the end, I guess.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
um, and it's hard some days, but you know what? It's beneficial
It is.
to have. to know that Christ is with you every day, not just in eternity, but he's here with you now,
Hmm.
with us through helping us every day. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Can't
It
imagine eternity, honestly.
it's all right. It's getting pretty cool right now
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
certainly. Well, thanks for sharing some of those thoughts there, and I think it gives a lot of ideas about okay, how does faith actually reach into all these different areas and not necessarily reach, but actually impact and be a part of that because yeah, it's not separate.
Yeah.
They're together. So you mentioned a little bit about your father, Bible Bob,
Yeah.
and how that kind of was an inspiration to you. I'm curious, could you dig deeper into that, or maybe share were there other inspirations, other people, or passages in Scripture, or things that you've been reminded of that inspired you to actually bring your faith into your work, and that your work is not separate? Kind of what inspired you to do that? How did you get there?
You know what? I think when Faye and I were first married, um, she's kind of, don't tell her, but no, she's kind of a hero of my faith too. When we were first married, that girl, like, she could sit and read her Bible for a long time, and I was just like, okay, I was working, I had to leave, I had to start work at 7:30 in the morning, and I didn't have time to sit down for half an hour, as a young married guy. But to watch her just sit and read her Bible and flip through and mark it up. And now that I'm a little older, Jacob is out of the house now. We're empty nesters
Yeah.
essentially. And we can sit on our back deck, drink our coffee, read our Bibles, and just have a conversation. Oh, did you know this? She's like, yeah, where have you been? Kind of a thing. But did I answer your question or did I get
Well, no,
sidetracked?
no, keep going, keep going.
But yeah, no, like to know where I was, and I'd say that the counterfeit that sometimes I feel I was when I was a younger married guy, and to been beat up enough in life to really know that God pulled you through, and then to read his word and to know like these were real people too, and the struggles that they had and how they so relate to the struggles that I've had, and when they fall away from God, it's like you don't want to second guess everything and say that's because I didn't read my Bible today, but to just continue to read the Word and to dive into it and use it day to day. I guess it's kind of cool to read the Bible. Actually, the older I get, have a little more time, and except for during firewood summer season, but um, how it sustains you. It's kind of
Hmm.
it's kind of cool. So that's really helped pushed me on for sure.
Certainly. Okay. So we brought up a couple things that you've already mentioned about things that you've been learning recently, but I always love hearing about what God is teaching you. So maybe it's just reiterating something we've talked about, or is there something else that God's been encouraging you and reminding you about? If you'd be willing to share that with us.
Right. Um, yeah, I've been thinking a lot about compromise, and as I shared with you earlier, one of the things where um, we tend to compromise is in
Mhm.
obedience to God and His Word, and it's not always. Many people think obedience is a negative thing, sort of a thing like a drag, but um, there's quite a few music things in my background. My grandfather, who my son is named after, Jacob, was an incredible musician. He could play anything
Hmm.
and record. He recorded music. He was pretty sick, so in the winter he hardly went out of the house. So he would play his own music and did his own recordings actually
Wow.
in his living room. And I've got some of them, and they still make the eyes leak.
Mhm.
But and I'll probably never be as good as my son Jacob, who did Prairie's awesome music program, by the way. Oh, my wife did digital media too, by the way. So we're all kind of
You're all
we're,
connected.
we're all connected there. Hey, but the I've always had a desire to play an instrument. I took piano for 1 year in grade 10, and it was humiliating playing Mary Had a Little Lamb as a recital at age 16. So, but 2 years ago, my son gave me his old bass because he got a really new cool one. And so he gave me his old bass. It's pretty cool bass, actually. And I started playing with it. Summer was busy. So in September, I picked it up and I started playing it along to music. And then I'm like, I'm going to see if I can play in church. And I was nervous as could be. I need the songs 2 weeks in advance, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? Like standing up there playing that bass on a worship team, it adds so much to worship for me. It's like another whole layer of getting to know God and to just feel his presence in that service. And I get so carried away sometimes. I'm singing along and I forget where I'm at and I'm playing the wrong notes, but nobody knows because the sound guys don't turn me up apparently. But like, man, I wish I would have done it years ago. How much blessing did I miss out on
Hmm.
because I didn't go out there and try and do it, and it's been nagging me for years.
Yeah.
So, and I'm never, yeah, like I say, I'm not going to be a rock star or nothing, but it's incredible to take part in that area of the service on a Sunday morning.
Hmm.
It's pretty sweet. And I got to play on the Easter Good Friday service with you.
Oh, with
Hey,
me actually.
yeah, with
Look at
you.
that.
That was you. And that
All of us got
was,
to show up there with minimal experience and have a good time. Praise
yeah, it
God.
was great.
Well, thank you for sharing some of that with us, Sean, and hopefully that's a good reminder for all of us, and maybe even a reminder for some gentlemen in their older years that it's not done yet.
Absolutely.
You know, there's still things that they can do to serve God, and
Yeah.
don't compromise. So there you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, sharing a bit about Woodchuckers, the work you're doing, about your story, and some of the things that God has been teaching you and leading you in. So thank you so much. Before we leave, do you have any final thoughts for the listeners?
You know what? If you feel that there's something that God is prompting you to do it, like the blessing that can come out of it. It's pretty sweet.
It is.
It is.
Awesome. Well, thanks for saying that. And if anybody wants to learn more about woodchuckers or maybe they need some wood, where do they go? How do they get in touch with you?
You can go to our website,
Okay.
woodchuckersfirewood.net, or you can give me a call,
So there you go.
and all the information's there on the online.
Online. Perfect. So make sure you head to woodchuckersfirewood.net.
You bet.
There you go. And so if you want to learn more about that, you know where to head. Make sure you get some firewood and burn it real nice,
You
especially during
betcha.
the summer when you're super busy.
Don't forget to check for the fire bans.
Don't forget to check for fire bans. Well, if you want to learn more about Prairie College, since you're listening to the Prairie podcast, that seems like a good connection. You're going to want to check out our website as well, prairie.edu, www.prairie.edu, or you can check us out on Instagram or Facebook to stay up to date on all podcast news as well. So thank you so much, listeners, for joining us today, and thank you, Sean.
You bet. Thank you.